Court calls cause number 24-618 in the interest of Robert Castro Jr. et al. In the 451st Judicial District Court of Kendall County, Texas. Ms. Thompson, would you please begin the announcements?
Jessica Thompson for the department.
Taylor Gonzalez, family-based caseworker.
Carol McKetta, family-based supervisor.
Lucinda Mance, the court-appointed attorney for the mother, Amy Castro. Ms. Castro, could you announce, please, that you're present?
You have to unmute, ma'am. While she's doing that, somebody else can announce.
Marco Cabrera, I'm attorney for Mr. Robert Castro Sr. He's not present. I'm announcing that ready for him.
Amy Castro, present, minus my newly retained attorney.
Jennifer Harris, I'm filling in today for Kathleen Murray Savage. She's the attorney ad litem for the children. I'm ready.
Amy Harding, Hill Country Casa supervisor, guardian ad litem for the children.
Anyone who's not an attorney or will be giving testimony, please raise your right hand.
Yeah, I swear.
Ms. Castro, I need you to raise your right hand, please. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Help me God. Yes, sir, I do. Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down now. All right. Mr. Cabrera has announced not ready, and Ms. Castro has stated that her attorney is not present. Was the father served by any chance, Ms. Thompson?
No, Your Honor, the father was not served.
All right. Then I will be willing to grant the not ready for Mr. Cabrera because we don't have notice citation to his client. Who did you retain, Ms. Castro?
Solis. I'm sorry, Brad Solis.
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you said. It broke up.
Solis.
Is anybody else able to hear what she's saying, or is there some sort of audio issue? Yeah, I think you're too far away from your machine.
Brad Solis.
All right, where is he?
In court.
Did you tell him that you had a hearing today?
Yes, I did. I just retained him last night.
Ms. Greenlee, was anything filed? Hang on, Ms. Castro. Hang on, Ms. Castro. Hang on. Ms. Greenlee, was anything filed from Mr. Solis's office today?
No, sir. Nothing was filed.
Does anybody else have any notice of any sort of pleadings, notice of appearance, answer, anything that's been filed?
No, Your Honor.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning, sir. Your Honor.
You hired an attorney at 3 a.m.?
I've been in communication with him for a few days.
Okay, I have a few questions for you.
He asked me to request a 7-day extension so that he could gather more evidence.
Okay, I'm going to set forth some rules for you here. You don't speak unless I ask you a question or one of the attorneys asks you a question. That's how court works. And that's not me trying to be rude to you. That's the only way this works because I'm recording everything. And I have to be efficient, and I can't have anybody talking over anybody else or interrupting anybody else.
Noted.
So I'm going to ask you some questions now, and all I want you to do is answer the question I'm asking you. I don't want any other information that is not pertinent or relevant to the question I'm asking you. Okay?
and these are legally obligated to answer questions.
Well, I'm the judge, so what do you think?
I'm just making sure.
Okay.
Go ahead, Your
I'm not
Honor.
going to ask you, I'm not going to ask you any questions without your attorney here that are going
He's
to,
not here.
ma'am, you've got to stop talking while I'm talking. I've been patient. It doesn't last forever. And you're not doing yourself any favors by interrupting me repeatedly. I'm not going to ask you any questions that are going to jeopardize your constitutional rights to a fair and impartial hearing. I'm going to ask you questions about your decisions that you've made so far with regard to representation and procedure. Yes, you have to answer those questions.
Fair. Thank you, Your Honor.
You originally asked or had an affidavit of indigency. Did you fill one out stating that you needed a court-appointed attorney?
No, I refused. I'm not indigent.
Okay. I wanted to make sure you didn't fill one out. So you were given a conditional appointment then. So you're telling the court here today that you do not want a court-appointed attorney.
Correct. I am not indigent. I make very good money, Your Honor.
That's wonderful. I'm going to excuse Ms. Mance from this hearing. And later on down the road, if you tell me that you can no longer afford to pay your attorney, it's going to be your responsibility to contact the court and let us know that you now need an attorney. And it's going to be your responsibility to prove that you're indigent because of what you're telling me today. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm not indigent. I
It's
am not in
also,
poverty. That's what that means, correct? That I'm in poverty?
it's one of the meanings of the word indigent, yes, for
Not
our
in poverty, Your
purposes.
Honor.
Okay.
I make a very good income.
Okay. All right. That's, I don't need, again, I told you I only want answers that are relevant and pertinent to my question.
I refuse to sign a form that states that I'm in poverty and that I cannot afford my own attorney. Yes, that is true.
I don't need to hear anything else about it.
Okay.
My next question is that you understand that if I reset this case, because your attorney's not here today,
Mhm.
and we come back and your attorney's not here, you don't have counsel, I'm not going to give you another reset. You're going to have to go forward on your own.
He did explain that to me. He said I can only do this once.
And you're sure you understand?
He informed me that this is a one-time shot.
Wait till I'm done asking questions before you answer them. I'm teaching you these rules now because when we have our hearing and you keep answering questions before the person is done asking them, or you keep interrupting,
Sorry,
things
sir.
are not going to go well. You need to
It's
wait
my
to
ADHD.
speak until you're done being spoken to. Miss Greenlee, what do we have as far as a reset date is concerned?
How much time are we looking at for this hearing?
I don't know how much time the state needs, but this is an adversary hearing for temporary orders. And as everybody knows, I'm not going to give it all day. I might give it 2 hours at tops 3. Doesn't take that long to put on evidence for removal.
We can
How much-
reset to October 30th at 1:30.
What else?
I'm good with that, Judge.
I'm sorry,
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Cabredo.
because we are delaying this case further based upon what I consider gamemanship by the mother, and her appearance and demeanor in court today, I would ask that there be no further visitation with her and the children until that hearing.
Well, I want to, before I answer that question, Mr. Cabredo, were you saying something?
I have no problem with that setting on the 30th.
Ms. Mance, I'm going to excuse you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your work so far on the case. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Judge.
I want to make some things clear on the record before I make any decisions. Ms. Castro, I know you haven't been in front of me before. And I want you to understand that I'm very fair, very impartial, and I give everybody their fair shot with their case and their evidence. And I'm patient, but there's a point where I will cease to be patient. And that point comes when I feel like somebody doesn't have respect for this court or these proceedings. Notice I didn't say respect for me. I said for this court.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't have to like the person in the row, but you have to have respect for the court, and you have to have respect for the court's rules. So I want to
Yes.
make it abundantly clear to you that if we come back on the 30th and you pull anything, trying to get a delay, or you show, and I'm going to be honest with you, you have shown a lack of requisite respect for the court in this short period of time that we've been here. Shaking your
I'm
head at
sorry,
me,
Your Honor.
no, is not going to help you either.
I'm sorry,
You
Your
need-
Honor. It's not a disrespect for you, Your Honor. It is
All right,
disrespect for the people who have lied.
right. Okay, but you're interrupting me, and that's disrespectful to the court. It's slowing me down. It's slowing this process down. And you can have your opinions and your position as to what you think about what's been said about you, and that's fine. That's your case. I respect that. But how you treat the other people in this courtroom is a big deal to me.
I'm sorry, Your
We're
Honor.
all going to have respect for each other. We're not going to interrupt people. We're not going to talk over people. That's not going to go well if you do that. I can promise you.
I
I don't
understand.
do it.
My
I don't.
apologies.
Okay, you've got to stop talking while I'm talking. I appreciate you saying you understand, but you have got to stop talking while I'm talking. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm going to lose my patience because I've made it very clear that I don't want you to do that. Because if you're talking while I'm talking right now, then there's a good chance you're probably going to continue to do it when we have a court reporter here and we have a contested hearing and we're taking evidence. And that absolutely cannot happen. I will shut you down. And if you continue to do it, I'll either remove you from the courtroom or I'll find you in contempt of court. I don't want to do either one of those things. But you have to have respect for this court and these proceedings. And you will, one way or the other.
May I respond?
No, you may not. Your attorney's not here. You're represented by counsel. I only want to hear from your attorney from this point forward until he has a question for you. We're going to reset to October 30th, 2024 at 1:30. October 30th, 2024 at 1:30. Because I don't have evidence to help me make any decisions, to the contrary, I have to err on the side of caution. So I'm going to grant the ad litem's request to suspend all visitation until we come back. I'm not going to take any evidence, but I have to err on the side of caution in the best interest of the children. I'm going to extend the order for emergency orders based on good cause that Miss Castro has shown up today and on her own behalf requested a continuance of this hearing and has stated on the record that she is represented now by Brad Solis, who is not present here today. I have admonished, and I want this in the order, Ms. Thompson. I've admonished Ms. Castro that we are proceeding on October 30th at 1:30, whether her counsel is here or not. I will not entertain any other extensions or any other types of continuance. The only thing I will entertain is an agreement. If the parties do not have an agreement at 1:30, we're not going to spend any time conferring. We're going straight into the hearing at 1:30. So if there's any agreement that's going to be made, it's got to be made prior to that time. We're not going to spend any time conferring that day. Ms. Thompson, is there anything I failed to address?
Nothing else, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be the order of the court. There will be no further notice. This is the only notice you're going to get, memorialized by an order signed by me. So I'll see you all at 1:30 on October 30th. Thank you for your time and your service. All parties are excused. Okay, court calls cause number 24618. In the interest of Robert Castro Jr. et al. In the 451st Judicial District Court of Kendall County, Texas. The court is broadcasting from the courthouse in Bandera County, Texas. Are there any objections?
No objection.
Then with that, Miss Thompson, would you please begin the announcement?
Jessica Thompson for the department.
Alejandra Certuche, Belong Permanency Specialist.
Ashley Crouch, Belong Permanency Supervisor.
Maureen Yanis, I have been appointed to represent the mother, Amy Castro. She was here, Judge. I don't see her now. Not ready for that reason.
Just came back into the waiting room.
Okay.
Anybody else that hasn't announced, go ahead and announce now.
Kathleen Savage, attorney ad litem for the children, Your Honor. I'm ready.
Sarah Woods, Hill Country Casa Case Supervisor.
Judge, Miss Castro was just admitted. I would like to ask her to unmute and announce.
Ms. Castro, can you announce, please? You have to unmute. Y'all can go ahead and continue with announcements while we're waiting for her to get unmuted.
Robert Castro, I'm the father.
Gina Castro, I'm the grandmother.
Anybody else that hasn't announced? Everybody? All right, well, Ms. Castro is not able to get unmuted, so we will take notice that she's here. And for everybody else, Ms. Castro, oh, there you're
Sorry,
unmuted.
present.
Can you state your name for me, please? Ms. Castro, can you state your name for me, please?
Amy Castro.
All right. Can anyone who's not an attorney or will be giving testimony, please raise their right hand? That means everybody who's not an attorney or might give testimony. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. Mr. Robert Castro and Gina Castro, if you could unmute and answer in the affirmative so that the recording picks you up, please.
I do.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Judge, I
Okay.
hate to interrupt again. I'm so sorry. We are missing Marco.
Miss Greenlee, can you let Mr. Cabrera know that we need him in this hearing, please?
On it.
Thank you. All right, we're going to keep moving forward just because I need to keep going. Hopefully Mr. Cabrera can join us soon. All right, Ms. Sartuche, we're here for a status hearing today. And is there any Indian child heritage in this suit?
No, there's not.
Okay. And where's the child placed at this time?
They're in maternal grandparents' home in Kendall County,
What was the date of that placement?
October 22nd.
And is there a permanency goal in this case yet?
Our permanency goal is family reunification with a concurrent of relative adoption.
Right. Is the placement safe and appropriate, meeting the needs of the children?
Yes, it is.
Is it in their best interest to remain there?
Yes.
And are they both up to date on all their checkups?
Yes, they are pending a dental, and I have sent a referral for a CANS and a psychological assessment. So we're pending that to be scheduled as well.
That you believe all their medical and emotional needs are being met at this time?
I do.
Any observable delays or other issues that we need to take up or discuss today?
No.
Okay. Educational needs being met?
Yes, they are attending the same school, and I was able to figure out their transportation. So they take the bus to and from school.
Okay. Are they attending therapy?
Not yet. We'll see what they recommend after the CANS and psychological evaluations.
Okay. Are they having any contact with either parent at this time?
They are not having any contact with mom as it's been reported to me, but I did learn from CASA that they have spoken with Gina Castro and Mr. Castro as well, just over the phone.
What are you asking for today in terms of contact with the parents?
We would be okay with 1 hour a week or 1 hour every other week, whatever is appropriate and feasible for the caregiver.
Okay. Are the parents cooperating with you at this time?
Mr. Castro, I did just meet with him yesterday for the first time. He was released from TDCJ on November 5th. And he did attend the FGC. He was cooperative and he did review the family plan with me, but he asked not to sign until he went over it with his attorney first. But with Miss Castro, I have not had any success meeting with her. I did also offer to meet with her yesterday, but I was not able to.
Okay. So then when you created the plan, the attorneys, or sorry, the parents weren't actually present and they didn't actually participate in the creation of the plan. Is that correct?
No, they were both there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were both at the family group conference.
So they just haven't signed them yet.
Yes, I haven't sat down to review and have them sign it. Well, actually, I'm sorry. Mr. Castro did review it with me, but he asked not to sign until he
Right.
went over it with his attorney.
Okay, I understand now. All right, and then do you believe that these family plans of service are narrowly tailored and in the best interest of the children to make orders of the court?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Castro, I don't know what you're doing over there, but I need you to keep your video on, please. Mr. Cabrera, could you go ahead and announce for me, please?
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize. Marco Cabrera, I represent Mr. Robert Castro Sr. He's present. We're ready for this hearing. Mr. Castro, if he has not already announced, could you say your name?
He already did. He
Okay.
announced it. I swore him in. Ms. Castro, are you there?
Yes,
Can you turn on your video, please?
I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, well, in the meantime, while we're having testimony, please don't make any noises out loud. All right,
Yes, Your
thank you. Can you briefly set forth on the record, Ms. Adetuche, what services you want the parents to complete respectively, starting with the mother?
Yes, so for Ms. Castro, we would want her to address her resource management and basic needs, which includes proof of employment and a monthly household budget. Just to prove that she's able to provide a safe and stable housing. And she will provide us the names and identifying information for anyone else that's going to be living in the home or any frequent visitors. She will make herself available for announced and unannounced visits. And she will make sure that we have all of her current addresses if she moves and phone numbers if she changes that as well. And we would also like her to participate in a parenting education course and successfully complete that, as well as demonstrate behaviors learned and implement skills that she's acquired throughout that course. We would also ask for her to submit to random drug testing and complete that within 24 hours. And depending on those results, if she's positive for any results, I will refer her to an OSAR assessment where she will follow those recommendations that include inpatient or outpatient NA/AA classes or substance abuse counseling. We would also like for her to complete a psychosocial assessment and participate in individual counseling. And she will follow all recommendations from the psychological evaluation as well. She will also sign a release of information for Belong so that we're able to obtain information from all of the providers. And I left out the part in parenting education. We would like for her to comply with her visitation when that is started. And then for Mr. Castro, we would like the same thing with resource management and basic needs, just to provide proof of employment and a monthly household budget so that we are able to ensure he has safe and stable housing, and provide us with information for any frequent visitors and allow us into his home for both announced and unannounced visits. And he will provide us with a current address and phone number at all times throughout this case. Mr. Castro will also participate in an education class and submit a certificate of completion to me and demonstrate skills that he learned throughout that course. And he will be consistent with his participation in all of his visitation. And for Mr. Castro, we would also ask for random drug testing. And depending on those results, I will refer him to an OSAR assessment and he will follow the recommendations to that as well. And for his mental health, we would also like for him to complete a psychosocial and psychological evaluation and follow recommendations from that, which may include individual counseling. And lastly, for him to sign a release of information, which he already has.
Okay. And you believe that all of these services are in the best interest of the children?
I do.
All right. As of today, is it safe to return the children to either parent?
As of today, no.
As of today, has either parent fully addressed the concerns that brought the children into care?
No.
So is it in the best interest of the children to remain in the temporary managed conservatorship of Belong?
Yes.
Ms. Thompson, do you have any questions for Ms. Adetuche?
Very briefly, Your Honor. For Mila, did she begin her dietary counseling?
No, not that I'm aware of yet.
Okay. Do you know when she's scheduled for that? When is her first session?
I can follow up with that. That recommendation was done when she was at her previous placement. So I have to go over those medical documents and recommendations with the grandparents, but I will do that when I visit with them this month.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Yanis?
No questions.
Mr. Cabrera?
Thank you. So just to clarify, the request is for dad to do random drug tests, and if any of those come back positive, to refer to OSAR?
Correct. That's one of his tasks, yes.
Okay. And Has he been, I know he hasn't signed his um family plan, but has he been given the referrals and phone numbers to call?
I did provide him with a physical copy of his family plan, and that has all the information of who to reach out to.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Ms. Savage.
Um, yes, in regards to the visitation for the mom, where would that be located at?
We would try to keep that in Bernie.
Okay, and are you requesting the court that if that visitation is started, that Belong has the ability to end those visits should any behaviors become inappropriate?
Yes.
Okay, and then will Belong work with placement to get sibling visits set up for their older siblings for the children?
Do you mean Desiree?
And there's another sister, 16-year-old sister as well.
Sure, yeah, that would be okay.
Okay, are there any other orders at this time the kids are needing?
Not at this time.
Okay, I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any follow-up, Ms. Thompson?
No, Your Honor.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anybody else have any other witnesses? No.
No, Judge.
Report, Ms. Savage.
Yes, Your Honor, I was able to visit with the kids. They seem to be doing well in their placement. They like it at the maternal grandmother's home. The children did specifically ask to see their older sisters, Desiree, and I think Cameron was the other sister's name. She is with her dad, not a part of this case. But I do believe she lives in the Bernie area. Robert also asked about being able to visit with his dog. So I don't know if once we get visits set up with mom, maybe we can get that arranged. He seemed very concerned that he hadn't been able to see his puppy in a while. The kids did express wanting visits with mom and their father. My only concern is some of the behaviors if mom doesn't show up sober to a visit. So I would just ask that the department or Belong have the ability to end those visits if any behaviors become inappropriate.
Okay. Casa?
Yes, Judge. I was able to visit with Mila and with Robert yesterday. They're doing very well in their abuela's house. They are happy and healthy and enjoying being back at their regular school. They are doing really well in school. There are no academic or behavioral concerns, and CASA believes that this placement is safe and appropriate at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Tiche, did we made any progress with inpatient for mom?
No. I did give her information and I called myself to ask, but the one I was given, they were only by private pay or by her insurance. And she is adamant that she needs a court order to pay for inpatient. So we talked about it at the family group conference and we said that if she agreed to take a drug test and take the OSAR assessment, that we could get her into a federal grant inpatient, but she has not done that.
Well, I think the temporary order has an order to inpatient in there, right? I mean,
I'm
I
not sure
ordered
if
it,
that was ordered yet.
but it's in my notes.
We haven't received the orders from the last hearing where you did order that.
Okay. Well, that is definitely something I ordered. So once you get that order, that'll help her. But Miss Castro, can you unmute and turn on your video, please?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out.
Well,
I'm
you
sorry.
had it figured out a minute ago. There you are. Okay.
Sorry, sir. I've been crying.
I understand. Can you take a seat for me, please, so that you're still?
I'm sorry. I've been crying. I'm not under the influence. I've just been really emotional.
Okay. Well, we're trying to put some things in place for you and your kids.
I know.
Remember what I've told
And
you about, hey, remember
I
what I've
have
told you,
I have
Miss
requested a
Castro,
court order.
Miss Castro. Remember what I told you about how
Don't
you and
interrupt.
I cannot both
I
talk at the
know,
same
I
time.
know, don't interrupt. Yes, I
Okay,
know.
don't interrupt because we don't have time to sit here all day. We have a lot of work to get done in a small portion of time. I've already made some orders at our last hearing, and I'm going to make some more orders today. They're going to help you, if you follow them, fix these issues in your life that are making you cry. If you want to spend more time laughing and smiling and less time crying,
I'm
you need
not
to.
laughing. I'm not.
No, I'm telling you, I wish you were spending more time laughing and
Oh,
smiling than crying. And the only way you're going to get there is by addressing these problems so that they're not problems in your life anymore.
I
So,
have been begging for court orders for over a week.
well, this court order was rendered on the 30th of October, and it's just barely been a week. The court's going to
I'm out.
order
I drove out 2 hours. I drove 2
Miss
hours.
Castro, I want you to understand something. I need you to listen to me. I am empathetic to people's emotions. I can understand that people have emotions, but I don't make decisions based on people being emotional in front of me. You're not going to get anywhere crying in front of me. It's not going to get you
I'm not
anywhere.
trying to do
Okay,
that,
well then
Your
you just
Honor.
need to
I'm
be
not
quiet.
trying to do that.
You
I'm
just need to be
not. I
quiet.
swear I'm not trying to do that.
All right, well, you
I'm
need to
not
be
trying
quiet.
to do that. I'm out, Your Honor, I'm out in Austin.
Okay. You said you're not
Wait,
under the influence, but you can't follow my instructions. So you're starting to make me think that you are.
I'll shut up. I'm sorry. I'm
That would
just
probably be a
emotional.
good
Like,
idea.
I'm not allowed to get emotional
I
because
didn't
I'm
say
under
you
the
couldn't get
influence.
emotional. I said it's not going to make a difference on my decision. All right. Court finds that for the purposes of the status hearing, there's no Indian child heritage in this suit, that the permanency goal of family reunification is in the best interest of the child with the concurrent goal of relative adoption. Court finds that the placement is safe, appropriate, meeting the needs of the child, and in the best interest to remain in that placement. Court finds that the children are up to date on their medical and their vision. However, they are still pending a dental, CANS assessment, and psychological evaluations. Court finds that there are no observable delays or other issues at this time that have not already been addressed. Court finds that their educational needs are being met, that they're attending their original school, and that they have transportation to and from school. I'm going to continue my order that they have no contact with the mother at this time until she engages in services and goes to inpatient. Court is observing today that she appears that she's still under the influence. She cannot control her actions or behaviors or her emotions at this time. I don't think it's in the best interest of the children to be subject to that while they're trying to deal with all the other issues that they have going on at this point in time. I'm going to maintain that once she engages in services, she goes to inpatient and she's able to have visitation. She can do 1 hour a week or 1 hour every other week as feasible for the caregiver. That goes for Mr. Castro as well. I'm going to find that there were family plans of service narrowly tailored to address the concerns that brought the children into care. The parents participated in the creation of those plans. They have reviewed them, but have not signed them yet. I find that those plans are in the best interest of the child. Find that Mr. Castro has been cooperative with Belong. Ms. Castro has not been cooperative. And I'm going to find that both parents remain indigent for the purposes of this case. The court will order or distribute a pretrial scheduling order and a discovery control plan with the dates and times of future hearings, as well as rules and deadlines for discovery. Please review those and assign those accordingly. I have to admonish the parents. The state of Texas gives parents in CPS cases 12 months to demonstrate you can provide a safe, stable, violence, and drug-free home. In the event you cannot, your rights to your child are subject to restriction or termination. Ms. Artuche, let's work with Ms. Castro and let's do everything we can to get her a bed and inpatient. If she doesn't cooperate, she doesn't cooperate, but if you can help her secure a bed, and get her that information, get it to Miss Yanis as well, in writing, so that you can show you provided it to her and or her attorney. I think that's all we can do at this point. It's up to Miss Castro whether or not she wants to cooperate. She wants to take advantage of those services that can help her get sober. Our next hearing is going to be March the 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m. March 12th, 2024 at 11 a.m. Ms. Thompson, is there anything I failed to address?
No, you covered everything, Your Honor.
Okay. I see Miss Gina Castro raising her hand. Ma'am, you're here as a non-party without counsel, so I just want to caution you that I don't know what you're going to ask about or what you're going to say, but I just want to make sure you know that there's certain rules and procedures we have to abide by. So do you have a question or do you want to offer information? Okay, what is your question?
Am I allowed to see the kids?
Okay, that is something you need to talk to their attorney about, Ms. Savage, and
Okay.
talk to Ms. Saratucci about.
Okay.
I certainly, they've expressed an interest from what I heard in wanting to talk to people, and that includes you and your son. So y'all talk it out, and as long as everybody agrees it's in the best interest of the kids, I don't have a problem with it. I just
Okay.
want to make sure it's safe and appropriate.
Thank you.
I think considering they're not able to see their mother right now, it might be very helpful for them to talk to their grandmother. Okay. Anything else I failed to address from anyone? Okay. I don't think that she really understands me right now. I think she's under the influence, and I want it on the record that I believe she appears to be under the influence. But I want Miss Castro to get into inpatient. I want her to get help. I want her to have contact with her children. That's truly what I want. But right now, I feel like it's a safety risk. So I'm not going to allow it until she goes to inpatient. Thank you all for your time and your service. If nothing further, all parties are excused, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Judge.